Welcome to Quantum Finance. My name is Parker. I'm the head trader here, but I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. So, in today's video, we'll take a look at all the economic data that came out. We will do a overview of the markets. We will look at the trade opportunities. We will look at some tweets I found interesting, and then we will wrap it up with what we have to look forward to coming up for the rest of the week. And guys, if you do like the content here, make sure to like and subscribe. So starting off here in the economic data, we had the US non-farm employment change come out better than expected. We also had the Fed chair testify again today in Congress, but most of his market moving statements were made yesterday when he came out very hawkish. Today was just a question and answer from Congress, and you know how those politicians are. They were just tossing him softball questions, and he was just ripping dingers and just saying the typical Fed jargon. So I'm not going to waste your time with that. I'm sure you can find some of the BS he said pretty easily on the internet. But what I will say is that after his answers today, the odds of a half point, 50 basis point rate hike this month in March increased to 75%. So we had the JOLTS job openings coming in better than expected also. And we had the US crude oil inventories coming in better than expected as well. So now we'll turn to the charts. Starting here in the debt market, with the 10-year yield, we have another just kind of small green day, tight range for the 10-year yield. Not really too much to say here, just kind of sitting in the middle of this upper range here on the weekly chart, still holding that daily 20. Looking at the dollar, we have it's currently slightly red, kind of doji candle, not real much action in the dollar today as well, still kind of stuck at this 105.6 level, trying to break through this resistance we have right through here in this area. So will be interesting to see if the dollar can actually get through this resistance we have here. Looking at stocks, S&P 500 kind of wicked down to the downside, green day on the S&P 500. As you know, we will look deeper into that. Still on the weekly chart, sitting here above this midline. Turning to cryptos, we have Bitcoin actually getting through yesterday's lows, but getting a little wick here, still sitting above this previous structured support, and still bullish on the weekly being above the midline. There's something I do want to note here in the crypto world is XRP having a nice couple days here, up 7.8% so far on the weekly candle. Some of y'all probably know this, but I am extremely bullish on XRP. Turning to commodities, we have oil turning red on the month, getting through that midline, getting continuation to the downside, breaking through yesterday's lows. Gold, kind of green day here, getting rejected after a wick. Still kind of sitting down here at these previous lows and this lower extreme. Silver, another red day for silver, getting continuation to the downside, breaking through yesterday's lows, making its way down here to the lower end of the monthly range towards this $18 level. So now we will turn to the trades for the day. First, we will look at the S&P 500, get a little breakdown of what happened. So Monday, we had the hammer tail rejection sell off into the close. Yesterday, we had the just pretty much all selling all day as the Fed came out extremely hawkish. And then today, we opened up about where we closed, opened up barely below the 50-day moving average, went sideways for a while. Then going into lunchtime, we did extend lows and create new lows on the day, but we did bounce into the close. Just closing, right above where we opened, so not really much action today in the S&P 500. I mean, it was just one of those choppy kind of days. 30-minute, you can see here we are starting to get kind of squeezed on the 30-minute. These bands are coming in with the 1 hour stock and the 2 hour stock RSI curling to the upside. But what I do want to note is that we are still bearish on these 2 hour and 1 hour moving averages, with the 9 still below the 20. So yeah, that was kind of the majority of the action we had today in the S&P 500. Now let's turn to our stock scanners and see what kind of trade opportunities we had. So starting over here on the GapVol scanner, this board right here, as you can see, we have AMD and NVIDIA on the board. So that means semiconductors were in play today. So we're going to take a look at these. I have been watching these for the past like week or so. So I had been waiting for a while on one of these trades to show itself here. So as you can see, we got the push up, we got the pullback, slight consolidation, shift in momentum. We did get the squeeze right here, MACD cross, and we did, I mean, it wasn't the greatest move here. It was a slight move before pulling back and then really kind of retesting these highs into the close. We can zoom out here a little bit on it. As you can see, like right before that squeeze happened, we did have that 30-minute trade line at VWAP cross come in here. The 15-minute was not ideal. It didn't really get caught till here, which is what took it to retest those highs. But here on the 2 hour chart, you can see what kind of this play was. This was kind of continuation after we got this downtrend break to the upside here, getting really close to this swing high from this area here. We can look at the daily chart just to get a better idea. As you can see, breaking that, holding above the daily 20M, making its way up to the upper extreme here. Getting slightly tight here on these bands. As you can see on the weekly too, is what we just came down and we were getting continuation bounce. So, I mean, this could be a pretty good week here for AMD and semiconductors. I would maybe see if we can retest up here towards this high up here, right? The high on this candle is actually 88.94. So, you know, I'd maybe watch for some more continuation, you know, here on AMD. But yeah, this could have been your entry here on these. We'll pull up some options on this. I did like NVIDIA better, but we will go over that here in a minute. So right here, we're looking at 2 o'clock. So this was definitely a patient kind of day because of how choppy the market was itself. 2 o'clock, we're sitting here at 84.69. So we were looking for calls. These 85s have the most volume on the day. 85 is right there. So yeah, that was the play. These 85s, we'll send these over. So the entry here at about 2 o'clock, these contracts are sitting here about, we'll call the upper side 140. On that first move up, you're looking at about a, 16, 15% move. And it did pull back, pretty far here on these contracts. But then going into the close, we did get an extension up towards that 30% level as it went to retest the highs. But I did like NVIDIA better than AMD, so that's what I went with today as my number one pick for the trade. As you can see here, same kind of thing as AMD. We got the push up, we got the consolidation, squeeze with momentum to the upside. We got the push up, pull back, and then push to highs on the day going into the close. Like I said earlier, this was a patient kind of day with the trades happening later in the day. Towards this, this started squeezing at 1 o'clock and got its momentum shift here towards 2 o'clock. So let's pull up the contracts we had on NVIDIA. We had the 240s, I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, these were definitely the 240s. So we had these 240 strike contracts. But, this wasn't the most ideal, like, momentum here. As you can see, we had momentum to the upside, and then we were getting red, wicks here. So this was kind of a little choppy trade, but, if you say you got in right here, on the first candle that turned yellow or the second, I mean, that's still not the worst entry. This pretty decent here, with your stop loss below this level or, below here, depending on the type of risk you were trying to take. But as you can see here on these contracts, at the time of the squeeze entry with the positive momentum to the upside, we'll call these $3.50. At the retest of the highs, these contracts were up 17%, and into the close, these end up ripping, close to 45% on these call options. And we can zoom out here a little more on the video so you can see what was going on. If you're wondering what that downtrend line was, you can see here on the 30-minute from Monday and Tuesday, this was a really tight consolidation, kind of bull flag pattern going here into the close, which is what we got that breakout. As you can see, we also had a 15-minute squeeze too, which helped get us through that resistance line into the close. But when we did have that squeeze here, as you can see on the 30-minute, we did get that trade line VWAP crossover right there around 1:30 to 2 o'clock. And we had that 1 hour EMA holding it as support the whole day through. And we can zoom out a little more on this so you can see what's going on here on NVIDIA. NVIDIA just been really strong, the past couple months here. I mean, this is probably one of definitely the stronger stocks in the entire stock market. So yeah, I've been watching this for a while. Yeah, this was like, I was expecting it to break out of this range. I mean, that's pretty much what we got. Yeah, I mean, I was just looking to catch more of this upside here. Maybe to see if we can get somewhere into this range up here over the next couple weeks to a month. Maybe if we do get some more strength or bounces in the overall market. But NVIDIA just being extremely strong here. Definitely one of the strongest bounces I have seen when it comes to the stocks I've analyzed as of late. So yeah, nice trade in the semiconductors today. AMD would have worked. NVIDIA would have worked. Something I do want to show here is at the top of the GapVol scanner, we do have Rivian. And Rivian, I'm pretty sure, is an electric car vehicle company. We can pull up the news here. They had news that they were getting a $1.3 billion private green convertible note offering, so they just basically raised a bunch of money. It did have a momentum shift squeeze to the upside, but it was at the top of the GapVol scanner, so I can understand why you would take this trade because it was the top guy on the GapVol scanner. So, I could understand why you would maybe want to take this on this downtrend break with momentum to the upside and a squeeze MACD cross on the 5-minute, but I will zoom out a little more so you can see why this wasn't the most ideal trade here. I would have never taken this, but I understand if you did. And today it actually would have worked out for you. As you can see, we get no trade line VWAP cross to the upside. We do have bearish moving averages on the 2 hour and 1 hour. If you zoom in here more on the 1 hour, you can see this 1 hour was acting as a resistance line here. I mean, I could see if you wanted to trade that squeeze downtrend break just as a move up to here, these, this kind of like support level from yesterday. But overall, I would have never taken this trade. But, if you did, you made money. But, not the most ideal trade to take when you do have AMD and NVIDIA at the top of the board. And we can look to our gap up scanner here. And we can kind of go through, look for squeezes. And there was this squeeze here on XP. You see here, there wasn't much of a momentum shift to the downside, kind of a zero out squeeze here. We look at the 15-minute, as you can see, the 30-minute, we get the 30-minute cross right when that squeeze happened with the 15-minute EMA coming in to catch the bid and push it to highs. But, this is just one of those kind of small cap companies. XP, not really any news either today. So technically we got the move, but this is not something, I would trade, kind of like Rivian when you have AMD and NVIDIA sitting here towards the top of your gap ball kind of list. But I mean, these squeezes here today would have worked out for you, but I just kind of wanted to show you that, these aren't the most ideal trades to take. These are higher risk trades, but you are trading, at least if you're going to take these kind of risky trades, you're entering in during the squeezes, you're entering in with the moving averages on the higher time frames. So if you are going to take these higher risk trades, at least make sure you're reducing your risk as much as possible with the most ideal entry points that you can get. So yeah, those were the trades we had, had going on today. Like I said, AMD, NVIDIA, that was where the real, money was. Not major moves, but, pretty obvious, easy trades to make some profit on for today. So yeah, that'll do it for the trades. So now we'll turn to some tweets. I know this is kind of blurry, but this is just a chart from the Fed with the red here, the personal savings rate going down, and the consumer loans of all commercial banks here going up, and you can see the massive spread between the personal savings rate and the amount of loans. And this is, if the S&P 500 fails to hit a new all-time high in 2023, it would be the first year since 2012 with at least one all-time high. And this is a picture of the U.S. government interest bill. So this is how much we have to pay each year to pay off the debt and interest. And as you can see, we have a projection here. If the U.S. budget deficit grows by $1 trillion and interest rates stay at 4%, this projection is looking up here towards over $1.2 trillion a year just to pay on the interest on the government debt. Here we have the bankruptcy judge approving Binance's deal for Voyager. And this is a chart showing the unaffordable the housing market has become, with the average monthly mortgage payment in Atlanta going from $320 in 2012 to just under $2,000 now. So, I mean, you can see, as the money printer goes burr, so do those rents and mortgages. So that'll do it for that. And so now we'll take a look at what we have looking forward to the rest of the week. So tomorrow is Thursday, March 9th, and it looks like we have initial jobless claims. So that'll do it for today's video. Appreciate y'all watching, and I will talk to y'all later.